Ever since the final manga panel was unveiled a few years ago, people have been speculating that the baby is actually Ymir the founder reborn. I think that's totally wrong cause the baby
hear
is
me out.
Zeke. The final panel shows a man holding a baby and saying you are free. We don't know who the man is, and we also don't know who the baby is. The obvious answer would be that the man is Eren and the baby is Ymir, whose consciousness got sent into the baby through the coordinate. HajimeIsayama is a great writer who gave us some of the best plot twists in fiction, like the armored and colossal Titan reveals and the basement reveal. He knows how to subvert the reader's expectations, and having the baby be Ymir is just too predictable. Wasn't been confirmed to a boy or a girl, so there's a 50-50 chance of it being either. Most of the theories expect the baby to be Ymir because she looks a lot like Historia with her blonde hair and blue eyes, and the fact that she has royal blood. But you know who else has blonde hair, blue eyes and royal blood? Historia went into labor in chapter 134. Zeke also died in chapter 137, right around the same time the baby would have been born, because Historia went into labor in chapter 134. Zeke's consciousness was probably sent through the coordinate after his death and transferred to Historia's baby. And since shifter powers are passed through the coordinate to a random Eldian baby, if the shifter dies without passing on their power, it's possible that the baby might also get the Beast Titan. Since he was a child, Zeke was used as a tool by his parents, specifically his father Grisha. They wanted him to become a warrior so they could use him for their own plan to restore Eldia. Zeke was never free to live a normal life. He was always trying to live up to his father's expectations. He was trapped inside the walls like every other Eldian in the internment zone, forced to become a warrior by his parents. He was never free to live the kind of life he wanted. This made him resent his father. Zeke's philosophy on life was that living was a curse because the world is full of suffering and that every living thing eventually has to die. He believed that by killing people he would prevent further suffering, and that he was preventing the suffering of children that would have been born if those people lived on. This, combined with his own childhood experiences, made Zeke believe that euthanizing his entire race was the best way to save the world from Eldians. But in the end of the last chapter he changed his views and learned to appreciate every moment in life and to see how beautiful the world actually is. Wouldn't it make sense for the man who tried to euthanize his own people to be reborn after changing his belief on life? Zeke even said in chapter 137 that he wouldn't mind being born again. This line right here is the real reason I made this video, because it just felt so odd for Zeke to say something like that. I'm guessing it was foreshadowing that Zeke would be reborn. Zeke tried to save Eren from his father's brainwashing, but that wasn't the case. When their father went to Paradis, he learned from his previous mistakes. He let his new son, Eren, be free to live the life he wanted. Which is why he didn't try to stop Eren when he said that he wanted to join the Survey Corps. He gave Eren a normal childhood, which is something Zeke didn't have. I mentioned earlier how Zeke wanted to free Eren from his father's brainwashing, but what if Eren is the one freeing Zeke by giving him a second shot at life? Wouldn't it make sense for the man who tried to euthanize his own race to be reborn after changing his philosophy of life from a nihilistic one to an optimistic one? Perhaps Eren or Grisha is the one holding Zeke saying you are free.